The Bible, the Word of God for me. The Bible is the truth and victory.
The Bible has many wonderful stories about God and all the tremendous things He's done and wants to do for those who love Him. Do you have a Bible?
I've read an exciting book, so adventurous and true. They say it's a real old book, but for me it's all brand new. There's history and poetry and prophecy for you in the Bible, the Word of God for me. The Bible is the truth and victory. I've read an exciting book, and I hope you'll read it too. It gives me the answers when I don't know what to do. It tells me that God is love, and there's lots of love for you in the Bible, the Word of God for me. The Bible is the truth and victory. The Bible.
Do you know who made the world and everything in it? God did. It was all His idea. He created everything, put it all together, and made it work.
On the very first day that ever was, God made the heavens and the earth because He does things in big ways
And in small ways too.
He planned on making a world just for you and me. It was on the second day He made the day and night. The night He called
the dark,
and the day He called.
the light.
Then came all the oceans with rolling waves in motion. He planned on making a world just for you and me. All God's children all around the world, let's clap and sing and dance and twirl and thank God for creating a beautiful, wonderful world. Green grass and flowers came on day number 3, and God must have had some fun making all the trees. It was on the 4th day, sun, moon, and stars were made. He was making a world just for you and me. All God's children all around the world, let's clap and sing and dance and twirl and thank God for creating a beautiful, wonderful world. On the 5th day, God looked up at the sky, and He thought to himself,
Let's see, maybe I should go ahead and create some birds so their songs can be heard. And I'll put fish in the sea. Yes, that sounds good to me.
right on the 6th day with His loving hands, God made the other animals, and then He made a man. His name was Adam, and to his delight, God made a woman, and she became his wife.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Eve.
All God's children, all around the world, let's clap and sing and dance and twirl, and thank God for creating a beautiful, wonderful world. After all the hard work of creating everything, God took a break to listen to the birdies sing. On day number 7, God rested up in heaven. The angels all joined in and began to sing.
Everybody now.
All God's children, all around the world, let's clap and sing and dance and twirl, and thank God for creating a beautiful, wonderful world. A beautiful, wonderful world.
I created it all for you.
God loves us very much. He wants us to learn to be kind and loving to each other. But many years after he first made people, God saw that they were being very mean and bad. God found one man who was trying to do good and obey God. His name was Noah. Noah loved the beautiful earth and the animals and all the wonderful things that God had made. And he loved God most of all. So God told Noah, I want you to build a boat big enough for you and your family and a whole lot of animals. I'm going to cover the whole earth with water and wash away everyone that's being so bad. So Noah and his family obeyed God and started building a great big boat called the Ark and started storing up food. It took Noah 120 years to build the Ark, and many of the bad people made fun of Noah. But Noah just went ahead and obeyed God. Then one day, the Ark was completed, and Noah, his family, and all the animals went inside the boat, and God closed the door, and they waited. Suddenly, they heard the pitter-patter of raindrops. The rain fell harder and harder until Noah's boat began to float, and the whole world was flooded. Even the mountaintops were covered. But Noah and all those with him in the ark were safe because they obeyed God.
Noah, Noah, I've got something to show ya. Wake up, there's gonna be a shake-up and the rain will be falling. Falling, 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 falling. 'Cause the flood is a-coming. Come, it's a-coming. Flood's a-coming. Build a boat that will stay afloat. You got work to do. You need help, can't do it yourself. Call your sons and daughters too. Go for it. Using gopher wood and tar. Paint all the cracks in so there's no leaking, and let's call it the ark. We got a lot of work to do. Noah, got something to show ya. Wake up, there's gonna be a shake-up and the rain will be falling. Falling, 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 falling. 'Cause the flood is a-coming. Come, it's a-coming. Flood's a-coming. Once you're done, you're gonna have some fun calling animals 2 by 2. Let's go. Kangaroos and emus, elephants, lions, horses, hippos. Oh, don't forget the straw. They'll be roaring, chirping, barking, meowing, howling, growling, honking, and hee-haws. A circus night and day, hip hip hooray, it'll be happening in the ark. Noah, once the rain is over, shake off all the water. over yet. Let go of all your pets and look to the heavenly skies. You'll see a rainbow there, then you'll know I care. My promise from me to you, and to your sons and daughters too. Know I've got something to show you. Wake up, there's gonna be a shake-up, and the rain will be falling, 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 falling. 'Cause the flood is a-coming, come, it's a-coming, flood's a-coming. Noah, I've got something to show ya. That's right.
Many years later, in another land, there lived a man named Abraham. Abraham loved God very much, and God loved Abraham very much. One day God said to him, "Abraham, I have a surprise for you. I want to show you the land that I am going to give to your children. I am going to make you a very great person." So Abraham and his wife Sarah packed up all their things and said goodbye to their friends and began traveling to the place that God had told them about.
Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan.
Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan.
I'm calling to tell you it's time to go. I'll show you the land where you are to go. I'll guide you and help you all along the way, if by faith you will obey. Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Faithfully he followed God, listening to his command, with his family and flocks, to a brand new land. I promise to Sarah a baby boy. Believe me, it will be as I have voiced. Your wife is so very old, but you will see, if by faith you will believe. Abraham, with your caravan. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. Faithfully he followed God, listening to his command, with his family and flocks, to a brand new land. Abraham, Abraham, with your caravan. 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 With your caravan, Abraham.
Abraham and Sarah had a handsome little boy named Isaac. When Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebekah, and they had twin boys. They named their sons Jacob and Esau. Jacob liked to trick or deceive people to get what he wanted. So, to teach him a lesson, God let someone trick Jacob so he would feel what it was like. Finally, Jacob was sorry and didn't want to trick people anymore. He had a big change in his life. God was happy and gave Jacob a new name, Israel, and blessed him with 12 sons.
12 sons, 12 sons. Jacob had so many sons. 12 sons, 12 sons. Let's name them one by one.
Let's go!
Israel and his children moved to Egypt because there was a great famine in their land. The king of Egypt gave them a nice place to stay, and after hundreds of years, Israel's children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren had grown to become millions of people. Then there was a new ruler of Egypt who was very evil, and he made the people of Israel, or Hebrews as they were known, his slaves. He was very mean and made them work very hard. One day the cruel king ordered the people of Israel to throw their baby boys into the river and drown them. Mothers took their babies and hid them. One mother, named Jochebed, thought of a very clever way to save her baby. She did put him in the river, but he didn't even get wet.
Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Jochebed put her little baby boy in a little basket. Jochebed put her little baby boy in a little basket. The baby had to hide because the Pharaoh wasn't nice. Jochebed put her little baby boy in a little basket. Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Little sister Miriam went with her brother to the river. Little sister Miriam went with her brother to the river. The basket was a boat. See the little baby float. Little sister Miriam went with her brother to the river. Baby in a basket, I see a baby in a basket. Baby in a basket, he was discovered by the princess. Baby in a basket, he was discovered by the princess. She gave that babe a home and loved that baby as her own. Baby in a basket, he was discovered by the princess. She named him Moses. She named him Moses. Baby in a basket, she named him Moses. She named him Moses. Baby in a basket.
Moses, Jochebed's son, grew up in the palace of the king of Egypt. Even though he was the prince of Egypt, he still loved his own people of Israel, whom the king had made slaves. Moses wanted to free them. God wanted to free them too, so that they could go and live in the land that he had promised Abraham that he would give them. So God told Moses to be brave and tell the king to let the people go. The king would not obey, so God let all kinds of bad things happen to him and his people to make him change his mind. When the king finally gave the people of Israel permission to leave, Moses let all of them, there were millions of them, out of Egypt. The king thought that the people would have to stop at the Red Sea, and then the king's army would be able to bring them back to be his slaves again.
How do you think Moses got across the Red Sea? Are you good at guessing? Or do you know already? Or did he ride in a boat?
Oh, no, no, no.
Or maybe he tried to swim?
Whoa, no, no, no.
Did he fly like a bird?
Whoa, no.
Maybe running and jumping?
No way.
Or did he ride on a whale?
Whoa, no, no, no.
Oh, won't you tell me, please? How did he cross the Red Sea?
How did he cross the Red Sea?
God parted the sea to set his children free. He made a path right through so that the Hebrews could Israelites could flee across the Red Sea.
He set his children free.
Across the Red Sea.
He set his children free.
He set them free.
He set his children free.
The Red Sea.
He set his children.
God set his children free.
He set his children free.
He set them free.
He set his children free. He set his children free. He set his children free.
When the people of Israel got to the beautiful new land that God had promised them, there were some evil people living there in big cities. Jericho was one of those cities. It had great high walls all around it. The walls were so wide and strong that some people even built their houses on top of them. The people of Jericho were very evil, so God decided to give their land to the people of Israel, who were led by Joshua. When the people of Jericho saw Joshua coming, they all ran inside their city and locked the big strong gates so Joshua and his army could not get in. God told Joshua to have his army march around the walls of Jericho 1 time every day, and on the 7th day to march around the walls of the city 7 times, and then give a shout, and something exciting would happen.
Round the walls, round the walls, round the walls of Jericho we go. Round the walls, round the walls, round the walls of Jericho we go. 7 times around without a stop. Here we go, ready or not. We're an army marching in line. Round the walls of Jericho 7 times. Shout and shout some more. We see cracks and hear a rumbling sound. Now the walls of Jericho are tumbling down. In we go, in we go, in we go into Jericho. In we go, in we go, in we go into Jericho.
Only 300 men were with Gideon that night, and his enemies were the Midianites. They were a host that filled the valley wide, but Gideon had the Lord by his side. Victory.
Another brave man in the Bible was Shamgar. Enemy soldiers were everywhere in his country. All the roads were closed and the villages were empty. The people had gone up into the mountains to hide. With the Lord's help, Shamgar fought against 600 enemy soldiers with only a long stick called an ox goad, and he won. He helped make his country safe to live in again. Many stories in the Bible talk about people who didn't have much but did great things with God's help. Here is a song about it.
Long-haired Samson used to chop on to the glory of our God. David used some pebbles and a sling, and Aaron used a rod. Dorcas used a needle and some thread. She stitched and fixed and sewed. Rahab had a little piece of string, and Shamgar used an ox goad. These may sound ordinary, but these are true stories of the little things that God used. You have something special that God would be so thankful if you used it to help others too. Long-haired Samson used to chop on to the glory of our God. David used some pebbles and a sling, and Aaron used a rod. Dorcas used a needle and some thread. She stitched and fixed and sewed. Rahab had a little piece of string, and Shamgar used an ox goad. These may sound ordinary, but these are true stories of the little things that God used. You have something special that God would be so thankful if you used it to help others too. You have something special that God would be so thankful if you used it to help others too.
Naomi and her daughter-in-law, Ruth, had no one to look after them. Both of their husbands had died. They had no friends and were very poor and hungry. Ruth had an idea. I know where we can get some food, she said. It's harvest time. I will go out into the fields and pick up any barley or wheat that the farmers drop. A kind farmer named Boaz saw Ruth picking up the bits of grain and said to his men, "Be sure to drop big handfuls of grain for that woman to have." He was very kind to Ruth and decided to take care of her and Naomi.
Ruth went walking through the fields, gathering barley and wheat. She brought some home for Naomi too, more than enough to eat. Gathering barley and wheat,
Gathering barley and wheat.
she brought some home for Naomi too, more than enough to eat. Boaz owned the fields of grain, kindly and good was he. He married Ruth and took care of her, and they lived happily. Kindly and good was he.
Kindly and good was he.
He married Ruth and took care of her, and they lived happily. Gathering barley and wheat,
Gathering barley and wheat.
he married Ruth and took care of her, and they lived happily.
Little things are very important to God. Do you sometimes feel little and not very important? Well, you are important to God. There are lots of wonderful stories in the Bible about how God can use little things to do great things. Moses' brother Aaron was just a slave of the Egyptian king, but God used Aaron's wooden walking stick to do many miracles to make the king let the slaves go free. When King David was a boy, God helped him use his little sling and one small stone to slay an evil giant and save his country. One day, a very poor woman gave the only money she had. a couple of very small coins, to help other poor people. Jesus saw her give it, and now this widow's story is written in the Bible for the whole world to read. Another time, when Jesus had finished talking to a big crowd of people, it was time to eat. But there was no food where they were. A small boy had brought a few loaves of bread and some fish. It wasn't much, but he gave them to Jesus, and by a miracle they became enough to feed everyone with lots left over. So if you are just little, or only have a little, be happy. That's all that God needs in order to do something wonderful.
Just a little thing was the rod of Aaron, but when he gave his rod to God, God put it in Moses' hand. Its power covered the land, 'cause it was used at God's command. Just a little thing was the sling of David, but when he used his sling for God, Goliath died that day. The people shouted hooray, the battle tide was turned God's way. Just a little thing was the widow's money, but when she used all her coins for God, she gave her very best. Her life was mightily blessed, 'cause she gave more than all the rest. Just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing. Just a little thing were loaves and fishes, but when the boy gave them to God, that little bit of food fed hungry multitudes. The miracle of Jesus grew. Just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing. Just a little thing, maybe all that you have, but when you give your all to God, true happiness you'll find, and you'll see every time how through your life God's love will shine. Just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing, just a little thing.
When Samuel was a little boy, he lived with a kind old priest named Eli, who looked after him and taught him about God. During the day, many people would come to the temple to pray and to bring their gifts for God to Eli the priest. But at night, everything was very still and quiet. One night, Samuel woke up when he heard a voice calling his name. He thought Eli was calling him, but Eli was asleep. Do you know who was calling him?
Listen, little Samuel, I'm a calling, can you tell? Can you tell? In your sleep I speak to you, Samuel, I'm a calling you.
In the quiet of the night, Samuel went to Eli.
Here am I, what do you want?
Eli said, I called you not. Samuel went back to bed, but soon again the same voice said,
Listen, little Samuel, I'm a calling you, can you tell?
in the middle of the night, Samuel went to Eli.
Here am I, what do you want?
Eli said, I called
I'm a-calling you, can you tell?
For a third time in the night, Samuel went to Eli.
Here am I, what do you want?
Eli said,
I called you not. Back to bed now quietly. And if the Lord is calling thee, say to him, Lord, speak to me, for thy servant heareth thee.
little Samuel went to bed and lay down on his pillow. In the nighttime still and sweet, Samuel went back to sleep.
Listen, little Samuel, I'm a-calling, can you tell? Can you tell? In your sleep I speak to you, Samuel, I'm a-calling you.
Yes, dear Lord, I'm listening. Well, you're a calling, I can tell. Now I can tell. Here am I, please speak to me, for thy servant heareth thee.
Listen, children, listen well. When he's calling, you can tell. You can tell. Say,
Dear Lord, please speak to me, for thy servant heareth thee.
Elijah was a great prophet whose job was to give the people messages from God. When the king of Israel, a man named Ahab, married a very evil woman named Jezebel, they began doing all sorts of terrible things to God's people. God sent Elijah to tell them to stop their evil deeds or God would stop the rain. The king and queen got so angry when Elijah told them what God had said that he had to run far away from them. Soon the food could not grow any more because the rain had stopped, just as God had said. One day Elijah asked a poor widow and her son if they would give him some food. But they only had a tiny bit of food left. If you were hungry, would you give a stranger your last bit of food? The poor widow did, and to her surprise, God did a miracle and gave her plenty of food for her and her son to continue to eat.
Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Give up your life in all you do. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Heaven will smile and pour the blessings on you.
In a time of famine, lived a widow and her son. They were hungry, and she said,
Little one, I will now bake our last cake, but after that we have no food left.
to get some firewood. The woman went on a walk and met Elijah, the prophet of God. He said,
help me, and if you feed me, you will know that these words are true. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Give of your life in all you do. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Heaven will smile and pour the blessings on you.
The woman helped him, and she gave unselfishly, and through the famine, they had plenty to eat.
How could that be?
Well, now she could see that all the words that he spoke were true.
Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Give up your life in all you do. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Heaven will smile. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Give up your life in all you do. Pour out a blessing, pour out a blessing. Heaven
When Elijah was getting old, he needed someone to take his place to give God's message to the people. One day, he saw Elisha in a field plowing. God told Elijah to throw his big sheepskin cloak over Elisha's shoulders. So he did. This meant that God wanted Elisha to follow Elijah and become a messenger too. Elisha was very excited and happy to be chosen. He wanted to learn all he could from the old prophet before Elijah went to heaven. Then one day, as they were walking together, some heavenly horses of fire pulling a chariot suddenly appeared in the sky. Elisha and Elijah jumped apart as the fiery horses rushed between them. As Elisha watched, the fiery horses and chariot picked Elijah up and carried him up to heaven in a whirlwind. As he went up, Elijah's cloak fell down in front of Elisha, and Elisha became God's new messenger. God did many wonderful things through Elisha. Here's a song about some of the miracles he did.
Elisha threw some salt into the spring, and he prayed for the water to be clean.
Elisha threw some salt into the spring, and he prayed for the water to be clean.
And the river began to flow, the trees and flowers grow. Elisha threw some salt into the spring, and he prayed for the water to be clean. Elisha said to Naaman, "You'll be fine if you wash in the river 7 times.
Elisha said to Naaman,
You'll be fine if you wash in the river 7 times. Naaman took a swim that day, and his sores went all away.
Elisha said to Naaman,
You'll be fine if you wash in the river 7 times. Elisha threw a stick into the stream, and the axe that was sinking could be seen.
Elisha threw a stick into the stream, and the axe that was sinking could be seen.
It was borrowed, said the boy, who took it back with joy. Elisha threw a stick into the stream, and the axe that was sinking could be seen.
Have you ever been working and someone tried to distract or bother or stop you? Here's a story about a man who had the same problem, yet he just kept working until he got the job done.
Long ago, the city of Jerusalem had been broken down. God called a man named Nehemiah and gave him a big job to do.
Nehemiah, gather your people and go and rebuild Jerusalem.
Nehemiah said,
Yes, Lord.
and began to rebuild the walls of the city. But the devil sent Nehemiah's enemies to try and stop his work for the Lord.
No, no, you must not build Jerusalem.
But Nehemiah said,
I've got a job to do, I'm gonna see it through. Don't try to stop me, I've got a job to do, I'm going to see it through. Don't you distract me, I'm climbing up on this wall, and I'm holding on tight so that I don't fall. Come on, let's go, we've got a job to do. I've got a job to do, I'm going to see it through. Don't you disturb me, I've got a job to do, I'm going to see it through. Don't you confuse me, I'm off to a real good start, and I've got the joy of the Lord in my heart. Come on, let's go, we've got a job to do, I'm gonna see it through. I've got a job to do, I'm going to see it through. Don't try to trick me, I've got a job to do, I'm gonna see it through. Don't you deceive me, a great work has begun, and I'm doing my best to get it done. Come on, let's go, we've got a job to do. Got a job to do. I've got a job to do. Don't try to stop me. Don't you distract me. I'm climbing up on this wall, and I'm holding on tight so that I don't fall. Come on, let's go. We've got a job to do.